Hey everyone, I hope all of you are doing well and keeping safe. I know that this is a very crazy time for many of us, and obviously something that we did not predict or know was coming. A couple months ago, back I think it was November or December, I got my first job canceled, and it was a trip to China, and it's kind of like questioning what's happening, why is this getting canceled? And then step by step, all my projects got canceled, and now we're all kind of in this dilemma together where we are currently isolating ourselves, social distancing, doing everything that the health community is telling us. But while also doing so, we have to kind of progress, and we still have to continue working or developing our art. And so I thought I'd put together this video in order to help some of you guys at home who are facing some creative challenges. As a creative myself, I think it's very important to find new ways to deal with situations like this that might come up as a surprise. And you might be wondering where I am. I'm currently at my parents' place outside of the city, not in Toronto at the moment. I wish I could be, but my place was under renovation, and then this all happened, so the renovation stopped, and I don't really have a place to call home at the moment, but luckily my parents live close by, so I made a home studio here at their place, and it's been very interesting, I gotta say. Did a lot of spring cleaning this week, and while doing so I came across some really interesting material. This was one of my architecture applications, and inside it has a whole variety of different stuff that I did while I was in my teenage years, design work, some other illustrations, photos from my travels, a whole array of random things that, that really somehow show how far along I've gone. And it's important to kind of go back and resonate with some of your work, regardless of how old it is. So I'm gonna put this aside. This video is all about finding ways, creative ways to continue being creative and to work through the challenges of this COVID-19 situation. It got me really thinking, like, what have I been doing that has been helping me that can ultimately help you? And to start off with, I think the very first thing I began doing was realizing, I can't create new content. I mean, there's certain things I could definitely do, like take pictures at home and do little studio mock-ups and stuff like that, which I plan to. But in the time being, if I don't have all those things with me, which I didn't have any of my gear with me, what are the things that I've been really taking on? The first thing I've been doing is called revisiting old material. Just like I pulled up my old portfolio, but I've been going back into my hard drives, and I have hundreds. Luckily, they're all, numbered and labeled with what's been on them and what I've been captured over the years. But ultimately, the goal is to go back through a lot of this content and refresh it, refurbish it, reuse it in a way that is going to add some value to what I'm currently trying to do as a creative, which is constantly bringing the material up forward. So this is one thing that I've been really working on, and I started editing some old pictures from a project I did with Mercedes-Benz, and I realized, whoa, I would have edited these images so much more differently now, and these are solid photos. Why not, bring them up to 2020 quality levels? What's been interesting is seeing, the before and after edits and whatnot, but also just seeing the eye and perspective that you had as a creative early on in your career. So that's one thing I definitely think you guys should be doing, is revisiting your old content. It makes a huge difference. You'll start to realize, you don't have to feel the pressure of going out and creating new stuff because we are so limited with what we can do, and we can't be hanging out with friends and et cetera, et cetera. I think this is one way of tackling the bigger issue. Another thing I've been doing is, yes, taking this old footage and this old content and applying it to my website and building my websites again. So I started working on Palander Studio's website, which is my studio company website. And it's taking me a little bit of time, which is fine. I think you should always, pace yourself when you're designing your websites and anything that represents your work. But ultimately, I've been just working on all those portals, and I call them portals because those are ways for people to connect with you. So personal websites, business websites, your social media, everything. This is a great opportunity to really get creative and to create some sort of consistency across the board with all your content. And that's why I decided to begin with my website, especially because right now once we get back to normal, it'd be a great opportunity to reconnect with a lot of companies and clients and showcase the quality of work that I have. I've never had the time to actually put together the website properly. So dedicating the right amount of time now to things that will make the outcome of this whole scenario, once it's gone, a lot easier for you. Another thing I've been really doing and emphasizing a lot across my social media is the sense of community. I think that it's a very important time to connect with other fellow creatives and hear their challenges, or be able to mentor each other while you're dealing with the situation. So I've been doing these basically online video chats with several hundreds of people over this last month, where we just talk and I kind of get an idea of what they're going through, how they're dealing with their challenges, creating friendship, understanding how we can help each other's business grow. And I've also introduced this conference or consulting aspect to one of my preset packs. It's the New York preset pack I released last month, where with every purchase someone has the opportunity to talk to me for 30 minutes, and those 30 minutes have obviously extended for much longer, but we've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about our creative processes, the way that I see the industry moving forward versus the way that others see the industry, and just really giving each other a lot of feedback. And it's been super rewarding, and I can't tell you guys how awesome it has been able to connect with so many people, because over the longest period of time I haven't been able to do that unless I was really traveling and connecting with people face to face. But this has been a really interesting social experiment for me. Another thing I think is really important is collaboration. I have in the works right now some very interesting collaborative partnerships coming out. I can't really speak too much on them because there's some sort of surprise element to them, but definitely reaching out to someone that you respect or someone that you want to work with and creating something together is going to help you right now. Whether or not that's like a collaborative preset pack with another friend, or finding unique ways to do videos together. One person does one part of the video and someone else finishes the other half. Just really interesting things like that could go a long way. I think in doing these things, you're going to start to realize, wow, how important it is to have those social interactions. Because sometimes when life was normal, I'd say, we wouldn't make or emphasize those type of relationships. But now when things are a little bit more challenging, we find how valuable they are. Luckily for me, I've always had those elements in part of my thought process, so I haven't strayed away from them. I think it's very important to isolate yourself and do work on your own, but at the same time, I think the art of collaboration is what really allows an artist or a business person to excel. The next thing I want to talk about is creating products or allowing your services to be finally noticed. A lot of the portfolios I review online, it's very difficult for me to determine what the artist is actually trying to say as part of their portfolio. What is it that you actually do, or what is it that you want to achieve? Just having beautiful images or having really cool videos doesn't really display an idea for me of what you do or what you want to do. If you have a description somewhere on your website or anywhere that says, hey, these are the services I provide, this is the type of work I can do, it establishes a better connection with you and your clients. So work on the services that you provide. And as far as products, I think don't hesitate to think outside the box. Whether or not you're a photographer, you can do prints, you can do books, you can do online workshops, you could do, there's these websites right now that so many people are utilizing as service-based content providers. I think one is Fiverr or Fiverr, I can't really remember how it's pronounced, but where you can go online and you can basically solicitate the type of work that you do, and have your rates on there and whatnot. This is a good way to make money and to just really work within the current situation that's happening. The last thing is planning. Planning is critical, it's crucial, it's very important. How are you going to go back to normal work? What is your strategy from getting from where you are now to what you want to do later on in the future? And I've been doing a lot of deep learning, really trying to determine what it is that I've always wanted to achieve, and establishing those goals and setting those boundaries for me so that I don't stray away from them, and that I also don't create a lot of clutter in my life. We have the time now to really isolate and to prioritize the things that we want to achieve, so that down the road, once we go back to normal, it's a lot more focused and you have a better understanding of what it is that you want to do as a creative artist. Ultimately, this video is supposed to be a brief overview of what I'd imagine you guys should do. I'll try to really dive deep into each of these things, as I progress in the video creation process. It took me a long time to be able to even have a space to edit or to film, but I do hope that you guys are definitely being safe. That's the first thing, and you know, staying healthy. So do those things first. Make sure that you prioritize your health and your friends and your family's health as well. And you know, if you do need something, I want to make sure that you guys have some way of connecting with me. So I'm going to leave my email address below in the descriptor. Feel free to reach out. I'm going to do a lot of those more video chats with people. So I'd love to chat with some of you guys to make sure that you are doing okay. I'm not the person to go to for all the answers, but I feel like somehow I've been able to deal with this a little bit differently. And whether or not my process will help you, I think it's worth listening to each other and helping each other in any way possible. So ultimately, that's the video for today. It's short. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be safe, and I'll see you guys all very soon. Peace.